The neighborhood looked like it was yanked straight out of a catalog. White picket fences, obsessively mowed lawns, and a silence so forced it could choke a scream. Everyone waved, sure, but it was the kind of wave that screamed, "I'm watching you." But if this Stepford nightmare had a queen, it was Karen. HOA president, self-declared property aesthetic czar, and the human embodiment of a neighborhood watch sign. She didn't walk her dog. She patrolled. Morning, noon, and suspiciously late at night, her little yappy mutt Pebbles always trotted behind her like a furry deputy as she scanned driveways like a barcode scanner at war. If your grass was half an inch too long, she'd be snapping photos like she worked for the FBI. Welcome to Prodigy Tales. Make sure you like and subscribe for your top-notch HOA drama. Karen wasn't just nosy, she had mastered it like a martial art. She kept a color-coded clipboard for violations, no joke. She knew who used what brand of fertilizer, who skipped recycling pickup, and who let their Christmas lights stay up past New Year's Day. People joked about it, but the second you heard her heels clicking down the sidewalk, everyone scrambled like roaches under kitchen lights. Rumor had it she once fined a guy for painting his door eggshell white instead of pure white. No one challenged her, mostly because she weaponized that HOA rulebook like it was a holy text. Pages were dog-eared and sticky-noted to death, and she quoted sections from memory like a lawyer in a courtroom drama. The board? Oh, they were terrified of her. Most of them didn't even show up unless there were cookies. Me? I kept my head down. I didn't care about the PTA bake sales or the passive-aggressive emails about trash bins being visible from the street. I was just a chill, hard-working dude who loved his slice of quiet suburbia without being smothered in policy papers. I didn't care if someone painted their mailbox neon green, but Karen sure did, and she made it everyone's problem. Still, as long as I didn't rock the boat, she left me alone. At least, that's what I thought. I wasn't planning on making waves. Honestly, I just wanted something that made me happy. And that turned out to be a truck. Not just any truck, though. A glossy black beast, roaring V8, lifted just enough to flex, but not so much it screamed midlife crisis. I'd wanted one since I was a teenager, but life had other priorities: student loans, rent, a failed engagement. So the second I could afford it, I signed the papers and drove that beauty home like I just won the lottery. The second I parked it in my driveway, I swear I saw a squirrel salute me. At first, everything seemed fine. The truck fit neatly in my driveway. It wasn't blocking the street, wasn't leaking oil, wasn't blasting music at midnight. It was just there, minding its own glossy, glorious business. But by day 2, I noticed Karen's morning patrol took a sharp detour past my house. She didn't wave. Didn't even fake a smile. Just stood across the street with Pebbles growling at my chrome rims like they owed her money. I waved. She squinted. It was on. 2 weeks in, I got a letter in my mailbox. Not from the post office, from Karen's HOA command center. Folded 3 times, printed in bold Comic Sans like a passive-aggressive middle school project. Your vehicle does not align with the residential aesthetic of our neighborhood. It might as well have said, your happiness offends me. Cease immediately. Apparently, my truck was too aggressive in appearance and not suitable for a suburban environment. Like I'd parked a tank next to a tea party. I ignored it. Thought maybe it'd blow over. But nope, she started snapping photos. Every angle. Even caught her on my Ring camera tiptoeing up my driveway like a wannabe spy. My neighbor Phil texted me, "Yo, Karen asked if you were a contractor or planning to build something shady." I replied, "Nah, just living my best life." That must have stung her soul. Then came the complaints. Noise, size, disruptive aura. What does that even mean? It's not a ghost, Karen, it's a truck. But clearly I had touched a nerve in her HOA-obsessed soul, and now she was circling like a hawk looking for an excuse to dive in talons first. I'd had enough. The morning she stared at my truck while whispering into her little HOA walkie-talkie like she was coordinating a SWAT raid, I snapped. I walked right up to her while she stood across the street, clipboard in hand, Pebbles trying to act like a Doberman, and said, "You got something to say about my truck, Karen?" She didn't flinch. She just gave me that smug half smile, the kind that screamed HOA supremacy. "It's not appropriate for our image." Then she said like she was running a gated community in Beverly Hills and I'd brought in a monster truck rally. "Our image?" I repeated. "Karen, this isn't a country club. It's a neighborhood. People live here, people with jobs, hobbies, and yes, vehicles that aren't electric yogurt cups on wheels. Pebbles barked. Karen gasped. Your tone is hostile, she hissed, writing something on her clipboard like I'd just committed verbal assault. I'll be reporting this to the board. I laughed. Not just a chuckle, a full-on laugh from the gut. The board that you bully into signing off on everything you say? Go ahead. Maybe I'll file a complaint too. Ever hear of harassment? That rattled her. She blinked fast, as if short-circuiting from someone actually challenging her royal decrees. This neighborhood has rules, she snapped. Your truck violates the spirit of this community. Oh, so now we're worried about spirit? I shot back. Next thing you'll say it's killing the HOA's chakra. That did it. Her cheeks flushed crimson. She stormed off Pebbles, yapping in outrage, muttering something about legal action. The next day, I found another letter taped to my door. Final warning. Remove the vehicle or face penalties. I laughed so hard I nearly choked on my coffee. I didn't move the truck. In fact, I gave it a fresh polish and parked it sideways just to mess with her sense of order. It gleamed like a diamond in the sun, loud and proud, and every time Karen passed, she twitched like the HOA gods were judging her for failing to erase me. But the war was just getting started. It was a Saturday morning when I walked out with a coffee in hand, ready to admire my glorious truck like it was a work of art. Except today it wasn't black anymore. It was a war zone of red spray paint, words like trash, eyesore, and my favorite, not in my neighborhood, scrawled across the doors, hood, even the tailgate. I froze. Coffee slipped from my hand and splashed across the driveway. I didn't know whether to scream or laugh or torch the entire HOA office. But oh, the cameras. Sweet, sweet cameras. The security footage was crisp. There she was. Karen creeping across my lawn at 2:43 a.m. like a discount Catwoman, holding a can of paint in one hand and dragging poor Pebbles in the other. She wore a hoodie, but it was pink and bedazzled with the word Queen on the back. I kid you not. Like she wanted to be caught. She sprayed with a fury, stepping back every few seconds to admire her destruction like a deranged Banksy. I didn't even confront her. I went straight to the police. Yep, that's vandalism, the officer said while watching the footage, biting into a donut. You want to press charges? You bet I do. By noon, Karen was doing the walk of shame in handcuffs, Pebbles yapping in confusion as a crowd of neighbors gathered. Phones out, cameras rolling. I stood on my porch with a new coffee, sipping slow. You should have just minded your business, I called out as she was stuffed into the back of the cruiser. She shrieked about character assassination, about how I set her up, how the truck was a threat to property values. The officer deadpanned. Lady, you painted trash on his car. That's not community improvement. That's a felony. The HOA board tried to distance themselves immediately. Emergency meeting, sudden resignations, and a letter slid under every door saying, "We do not condone individual actions of any kind." Real brave, those keyboard warriors. The best part? Karen's face, redder than the paint she used as she saw the footage broadcast in glorious HD on the neighborhood Facebook page. The comments? Ruthless. The end. Please like and subscribe for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think Karen got what she deserved? Comment below.